Hello and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be block 1 in the 12 blocks of Christmas. And I've chosen this Christmas tree fabric. And the Christmas countdown fabric, which I thought was fitting for block 1. And then just this, this was a separate, these two actually were separate little fat quarters. And this, I bought a whole yard of it, came in the 1 yard bundle. So this fabric, I have 2 squares that are 5 by 5. This fabric, these blocks are going to be about 18.5 inches because I wanted it to be a nice size blanket, but only 12 blocks. So I made them 18 inches. 18.5 inches, I'm sorry. So these are this are 9.5 inch squares. We're going to lay those to the side. We don't need them right now. And then this fabric, I have 2 5 by 5 blocks and one 9.5 by 5 rectangle. So we're going to lay those out first. We're just going to lay them there like this. We're going to sew 2 blocks. And this one is going to go in the corner. They're going to be opposite. They're going to lay like this. I know it's a big block, so you can't see it very well. But one is going to be with, I want my trees to be upright. So one is going to be with the white in the bottom left and one's going to be in the top right. So we're just going to start by sewing these 2 together. So I laid it out. Ooh, I ripped that one. I laid them out. So then I'm just going to fold this over and pin it on the side I'm going to sew. So by the time I get to the sewing machine, it is not crooked. Or not crooked. I was straightening that. It is not confusing as to which side I'm going to sew. So the pin's going to be on that. And I'm also going to fold this one down. Same thing, I'm going to put a pin in the edge I'm going to sew. So I'm going to go sew those and then I'll be right back. Sew those, I'm going to iron it open to the dark side. And now if you're using directional fabric, this will be easy to tell which one goes where. Because you want your trees to be upright. Well, you might not. I want my trees to be upright. So then we're going to lay them right back where the white goes in the middle. They're not actually, they're going to be crisscross. I just have them laying like this so it's easier to see. My space isn't, well, the thing that holds my camera only goes so high. So I have to be creative, I guess. So then I laid them back. I'm just going to fold it over. And again, I'm going to pin. Well, this is a bigger spot, so I would pin it anyway. Or, yeah, bigger edge. I'm going to pin in the middle and one at the end. This one's a pretty easy block. I wanted to start with something easy since it was so big. Get a feel for how big the block is going to be because it is pretty big. So we're going to fold that over. I'm going to flip it over because I want to sew on this side because I want this to just go down smooth over my previous seam. Pin at the end and again at the beginning. Ouch, that hurt a little. All right, so then I'm just going to sew down both these edges and then I'll be right back. Sew them up. We're just going to iron this open to the straight side, the one that does not have the seam. Pull that one out. I would just have to sew this to the solid block we've cut out, the other block. And we're going to make sure our trees are going upright. Now, actually this would matter because if I got them confused, this is also a directional fabric. So you wouldn't want to, like if I got these confused, then I would sew, one would be upside down no matter how I laid it. So I have done that before. I have learned to look at what I am doing. So there it's going to be. So now we're just going to fold this over and just pin it. And again, when I sew, I want it to go down this way. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to pin the middle, the end, in the beginning. Now you could sew it the other way. You just have to stop in the middle and make sure your seam doesn't fold over, which I have trouble with, to be quite honest. we're going to fold this over, and this one already is going to be this way, so we're just going to line it up. I'm going to pin right at the seam I pin. One at the beginning and at the end. I'm going to sew these up and then I'll be right back. All right, sewing them together. Let me cut them apart. Bring back my ironing mat. We're going to iron there. Again, I'm doing it towards the side that does not have the seam. All right. See, it is going to be a big block, but you could also make it smaller and put 2 of each block on there if you'd like. I mean, if you can do that kind of math. So we're just going to lay it back out how it goes. Make sure everything's upright. Well, I guess at this point it doesn't matter because if one's upside down, the other one's upside down. So we're just going to fold it over. And on this one, we're going to line up the seam first. Right there. Ouch. Poke myself. Right there. And then I'm going to pin at this seam. Line it up there. And again at the end. And we're going to move back over to this side and we're going to line it up, pin at the first seam there and at the beginning. I'm going to sew right down through there and I'll be right back. All right, trim off my starter. I'm going to iron it open. That one didn't match up all that well, but whatever. All right, so there you have it. It is called Perseverance. I realized I didn't say that in the beginning. I'm so sorry. It's called Perseverance. So now we're going to, I must have cut that a little crooked. Whatever. Now we're going to quilt it. So I did realize I did not buy matching thread. So I don't have that color green thread. So, but I am going to show you what I would do. First, that block, let me start with that. That block is 18.5 inches. So then I'm going to cut, I cut this is going to be the back of this one, and I cut it at 20 inches. They say cut it at a whole inch or a whole 2 inches bigger around, but I don't really like the big border, so I do it at 1.5 inches. So the block is 18.5 inches. My border or backing is 20 inches. Then you cut your batting the same size as your block, which is in between there. I sandwiched them. And then I put it in the middle. I put it even around. That is puckered there. I'm working on it. So what I'm going to do from this point is it's all the way in the middle. You can't, like I said, you can't see the whole thing, but see how it's even there on the edges? It's the same on the top and bottom, trust me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quilt just this piece. So let me find it. I have masking tape, or I had masking tape rather. I'm going to pause you for just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I couldn't find my open one, but that's okay. We were going to have to open this eventually anyway, weren't we? So this is how I do it. There's 2 ways you could do this. If you wanted to, you could lay your ruler down. I'm just going to put the cross and then the, I don't know what it's called. Somebody once told me it was cross hatch when you did a bunch of diagonal ones. I don't know what you're going to call this. But what I'm going to do is I am going to lay this tape. Once I find the edge. I'm all over the place. I'm so sorry. Anybody know where the edge of this tape is? Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. Fast forward if you need to, guys. There it is. All right. So I am going to take it. I'm going to lay it like this just for the purpose of this. Well, it'd be easier. And I'm going to lay it from this corner, and it's going to go through that mark, because that's your center mark. So that is going to make it straight through there, or as straight as you can. You're going to lay it right there. Move it over, and it's going to go down. We'll move that pin out. Just move it over a little. And we're going to make it go down through. Oh, I moved that pin. Didn't do me any good. We're going to go down through to this corner. Now, I'm only going to do this one at a time, because if I cross them, then I'm sewing over tape. So then once I get my thread, which I'm going to do before I post this video, but we're going to sew down on this straight down. I'm going to use white on the top, white thread on the top, and I'm going to match this green on the back. I'm going to do that when I have the white backing and the red backing. I'm going to match my back, but I'm going to use white on the top all the time. So we're going to sew down this one, and then I'm going to use the same tape really, and I'm going to do this corner, and then I'm going to do down through both of these, which I won't use the tape on those because the seam line will go through. So I'm only going to do the 4 lines, because this batting can have about a 5-inch area that's not sewn, and these are going to be sewn here. So this is going to be folded up right here and sewn. So really, I mean, I might be pushing it a little, but that's what I'm going to do anyway. So I'm going to go get some thread, and I'll be back to show you how it's done, or how it's going to look. Okay, so I've sewn it up. I went and I got thread today. So you can sort of see it on here. I did a crossed, and then the diagonals, not diagonals, the horizontal, and oh, it bunched a little there, but I think it'll iron out actually. Maybe not, but it'll be all right. I promise. It don't look bad. If I'd quit messing with it. It's all right. I actually like it when it scrunches up after it's washed, and it gets a little crinkly and a little cuddly, and it's going to be great. So anyways, after I did the one, I should have stopped and showed you, but I think you can all probably figure it out. I pulled it off, and I did the other one, just corner to corner, and stitched down the side. And then I didn't use the tape on these because I just kind of followed the stitch that's already there. So there's block 1. And I've decided I'm going to do, there's going to be 4 with the green back, 4 with the red, and 4 with the white. And we're just going to go ahead and do all the green ones first, since that's the thread that's on my machine. I'm all kinds of efficient, I guess you would say, and I don't want to have to change it so much. So these are going to be bigger blocks. This is 18.5, and again, I did that because I only wanted the 12 blocks. Again, you could make them smaller if you know how, if you are good at the quilting math. You could make it smaller and just do 2 of each, or even 3 of each, however many you want. But anyways, this is block 1. It was called, what was it called? It was called Perseverance. So that is where we're at there. I'm going to try to do 3 blocks a week, and then we're going to quilt it all up and put it together. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns. All right, I'll see you in the next video. You all have a great day.